So the problem that many of you will have when starting to heavily mod Fallout 4 is that you will have a lot of weapon mods because Fallout 4 lacks of a true gigantic weapon pack like Apocalypse Armory for Fallout 3 or Aztec weapon overall or a Millennia weapon pack for Weapons of the New Millennia for Fallout New Vegas. So in Fallout 4 you have a lot of single mods, and when you install them they may conflict with each other, and the weapons that are supposed to spawn may usually not spawn. And don't fool yourself, just creating a merged patch won't solve the problem at all. So what you have to do first is to use this program, Merge Plugins, and Bethesda Archive Extractor to create a single merged plugin that includes all the records that come from the individual weapon mods. There are a lot of tutorials in the internet on how to do this. If you have Nexus Mod Manager, Mod Organizer, there's a guy that did it. They covered this pretty well. Once you have your custom weapon pack, mine looks like this, and includes all of these weapons. You now have to inject them into the game. So what people usually do is that they use two ways. They edit directly the leveled lists, like Fallout 4 does, or they use custom scripts to do it. So when they directly edit the leveled lists, they end up injecting their weapons leveled item into the level lists that the most common NPC use. So basically when a raider spawns, it will spawn with items contained into a level list. So if you change what is contained into these level lists, you change what you see when a raider spawns. So for example, a raider is an NPC. They are called Encounter Raider. So for example, this is a raider. When this raider spawns, it's gonna use these level lists. In terms of weapons, this raider is using this leveled list. So if you want to change which weapons this raider will equip, you have to tweak this leveled list. So we close this. Leveled item. LLI. Raider weapons. So what does this panel mean? This is a modifier. The original game, mod, another mod, another mod. Every one of these mods is editing the same level list. This game works so that in-game you're going to see only what happens in the last column. All the rest gets overridden. So in default Fallout 4, that kind of raider will use, when you are at level 1 amongst these. And then when you are at level 7, it's going to use one among these. And then when you're level 14, 28, and so on. So basically, the raiders are meant to spawn with better weapons the higher your level is. And I'm against this. then this other mod would have added these weapons, but they're not spawning in my current game because I've done this one that is overriding this. So and this is what happens by editing the leveled lists. So the problem is that when you have 200 mods and every one of them is editing the same exact level list, just the last one of the 200 mods will override the past 199 mods, and you will lose 199 weapons, and you will only have the weapon that comes from the last mod in your load order. That's why many mod authors have been using this mod This is basically a quest that overrides the level lists. And since many mod authors, most of them, are actually clever enough to rename this quest, you end up having a lot of quests running, constantly running into your game, all different, that at the same level edit and change the level lists without overriding each other. Some mod authors are so stupid that they didn't change the default name of the script, so when you install the weapon mod, it's going to ask you to override the existing script. It will be a different script with the same name, so you will end up losing the weapons anyways. The problem of this is that you can't control it. You can't control the level, you can't control which one will spawn more often than the other one, and you may end up seeing many times again and again and again the same weapon, and you just can't control it. So what you do is that you create your merged file out of your individual weapon mods, and you just delete all the added level lists and the tweaks that the individual mods do to the original leveled lists, and then you also delete all the quests. So basically, by deleting all the quests and all the modification to the level lists, you just have a file with a bunch of weapons that maybe appear in the world space, but they don't spawn at all on enemies. The next step is that you create your own leveled lists. I've created these, and I plan on assigning this to raiders, this to enclave soldiers, and this to gunners. So basically, my idea is that I want to have in the game raiders that spawn in every level, not depending from your level, and equipping every sort of weapon I want them to use. So even if I'm level 5, I want to have raiders at level 1, at level 2, at level 5, at level 20 with whatever weapon, because from my point of view, it's a matter of realism. So if some sort of raider has a strong weapon, then it just has it. It doesn't depend from the fact that you are level 5, 7, 10, or whatever. They should not adapt to your level. There should be just certain zones that you shouldn't be able to access. So this is a list that actually is not anchored to anything. It's just a list. This list is containing all of these weapons. All of them. These are some duplicate weapons I have deleted, just because I've downloaded too many mods. Many mods were adding the same weapon, and it just looked ugly. I had to delete some of them, and so on. Then, the next step is you take the base leveled lists that get edited for the raiders, all of these. What you're gonna do is that you're gonna delete what happens here in the last column and delete all of this, all of them, this, so on, and add your custom leveled list. Small side note, this is the starting level. I want everything to spawn from level 1. If you want certain weapons not to appear until you reach level 10, you just write 10 in here. And this is how many of the same objects, in case this list is used and this object is picked from the list out of all of these, how many of the same object the guy will have. So once you've put this list into this list, I want raiders to use this from level 1 and delete all the rest because I want to spawn them with this list, not depending from their level. Now we are in a different scenario. This number tells you how many records the raider is picking from this list. So if I write 3, every raider that uses this list, it's going to use 3 weapons randomly chosen amongst these. You can insert here chance none, for example. If this gets picked, there is a 20% chance, 30% chance that this item doesn't appear at all. You can do it to make certain rare weapons even more rare, for example. And you're pretty much done. Because what you need to do every time is to take a creature, Fallout 4, non-player character, gunner. You have to look actually what level lists is he using. LLI gunner semi-auto. Fine. Then you go to this level list. LLI gunner semi-auto. And you delete everything that is in the last column because all these just don't appear anyways. And you add your custom level list. I want to spawn from level 1 and I want every gunner to have, I don't know, 2 weapons out of this list. And that's it, you're done. Now you have complete control of everything. Of course, you can do the same thing with chems, food, dresses and stuff. Hope it helped and have fun.